This is a really good question. How do I get published, though? But the real question we need to ask is, what do you mean by publish? Now, does publish mean that you got picked up by Marvel or DC? Does publish mean that you're on comic book store shelves across the nation? Or does self published count? What are you really wanting? Now, you've heard Uncle Fish talk about how I've worked on over 40 books in the last 4 years, and that's a big number of books in a short amount of time. Only a handful of those books have ever seen comic book stores. I like to joke with people that I make comic books nobody's going to read because most of the books that I've worked on are self published works of love that the creator wanted to get out their whole life, and they hired me to help them get the book done. They self published it, fundraised it on Kickstarter. They sent it out themselves to 300 backers. And, that's the only people that are going to read this. That, and, maybe people will pick it up at a few Comic Cons. And I'm going to tell you, brothers and sisters, there ain't nothing wrong with that. There ain't nothing wrong with that at all. I have seen a whole lot of people that have gone from selling like 50 books on Kickstarter to 200 to 300 to several thousand that are now making full time livings off of comic books doing their own stories to a very small market. But, there's a lot more work involved in self publishing, but you also get to keep a whole lot more of the profit. Now, I've gone the self publishing route too, and there's nothing wrong with that. But for my book, Green Zone, I signed with a small publisher that already knew me, FSK, because I realized I don't like the publishing aspect of it myself. So if you're wanting to get published by somebody else, you're not wanting to do it yourself, then it really comes down to relationship. And most of the time, we build those relationships hanging out with other people, working for other people. Like, I've built all kinds of relationships working on all these other books for other creators. And each one of those creators ended up leading to more jobs with more of their friends as they showed off my work and talked about how great it was to work with me. Heck, I've made actual personal friends with, big level industry pros that we talk all the time now, just because one of their friends that was one of my clients was bragging about how nice it was working with me. If you're really wanting to get something out there, the best way to get started is to do short stories, like 4 8-page stories, and get them out in anthologies. There's always people looking to put anthologies together because it takes a lot of the work off of one person's shoulders. And there's always a new one that you can get in. Lots of different sized publishing houses are always looking for submissions. That's what I would recommend. And the more little stories you do, the better you get telling it short stories, the better you'll get telling it long form stories.